Some might say this is a hard topic to talk about because it's hard for me to even create the title for it. How do you say, do you like your own MBTI type? The type that you were born with, do you like it when you see it on other people? Yeah, that's what I mean. And I will say I'm an ENFJ and I've always really loved ENFJs when I rarely bump into one. I've often really cherished it and enjoyed it. But I hate to say, there have been a couple of times when it wasn't that I disliked the ENFJ because I liked them wholly, but the ENFJ actually made me kind of mad a couple of times or frustrated me. And then I found myself grappling with continuing to hold the person in the esteem that I originally held them in. And it might have been the context. The other ENFJ that I didn't like is somebody who's famous, who's a celebrity, and I don't know what it is about the person that it's off-putting to me. And I think it's because she had a certain career and she tries to fit herself into that career. So, like, she's an attorney, and not that I have anything against attorneys. I love them, I admire them, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. But when you think of a profile of an attorney, you might think they're tough. They're tough stuff, right? Because they can defend somebody. And so when I see this ENFJ in other relaxed contexts, like just being in a relationship or just talking to a friend, it's like they don't know who they are. And that is a struggle with all NF types, including ENFJs, is sometimes we can go into modes when we don't know who the heck we are, or we're refiguring who we are, or we're different in different settings. And so it's very confusing when you're expected to be an attorney, but you just want to relax and be a nice, kind friend, but the person introduces you as a bad A chick. So now it's like, okay, well, I have to be bad A when I just want to relax and talk about hot chocolate, you know? And so I feel like the reason why I struggle to like the person is because she's trying to fit into too many things that people have said she is, instead of just relaxing into friendship mode. Just be cool. So there are types that I've seen that can't stand each other. ISFJs, I've seen a couple of them not be able to stand each other, and where they're like, I just don't want to be in her presence today. I'm not feeling her today. I'm not in the mode. And I'm thinking to myself, honey, if you understood Myers-Briggs, it's almost like you're saying you don't like yourself because the two of you act just alike. Now, the component that could put a twist to all of this might be the Enneagram type. So it may not be the actual MBTI type that you're disliking if you say, I don't like my type when I meet them. It could be their Enneagram, because these two ISFJs were the asserter. So they would box somebody's ears off. And a lot of times when you see ISFJs, they're described as so sweet and so docile or so kind or so nice and helpful, blah, blah, blah. But you put that asserter Enneagram on top of them, and that changes the game. And you put two of them together, and they're in confrontation mode with each other. So it's like, if you don't like that aspect of yourself, confronting somebody, blah, blah, then maybe you should shift and not be that person to others. People, here's a lesson for you. And this is what I try to do. If I see a trait or behavior in someone or my type that I don't care for, I try to alter it. Like, okay, so when I'm in a setting and people call me a bad A, don't act like a bad A. Just be a kind, nice, sweet person. So, yeah, take your own advice. If you don't like something in a person, then try not to be that with other people. Now, this video could be a bit controversial. I picked out a few types and they may be offended. I'm just going to be honest with you. And I'm going to explain my thought process on why I think these types don't like themselves when they see them. And I'm not meaning like, I know an ISTJ who won't let me talk about ISTJs, doesn't want to hear about it. even though she understands it. And I'm like, why don't you enjoy hearing about your own type? So I'm not exactly talking about that. I'm talking about you really don't want to be friends with somebody of your own type. And just as a caveat, this does not apply to all of these types that I'm going to mention, because I'm sure that there are types that are exactly like them, that they fall in love with each other. They want to be friends. They want to hang out. They get each other. They even could gang up on people with each other because they understand how each other thinks. So some of these people love their own type. But if there were some types that don't always like their own types, these are the ones I pick. So if you disagree, let me know in the comments. This is our channel. It ain't just about me. It's about us figuring this ish out together. So here we go.
I'm scared.
The controversial truth: when MBTI types clash, even against their own kind. So in a world that celebrates the idea of finding like-minded individuals through the Myers-Briggs personality type indicator, it may come as a shock to discover that even individuals of the same MBTI type can clash and harbor genuine dislike for each other. While the MBTI framework offers insights into personality traits and preferences, it's essential to acknowledge that human relationships are complex and multifaceted. So, as much as we might hope for harmony and understanding among individuals sharing the same MBTI type, the reality is that clashes and animosity can occur, revealing a controversial side of MBTI. So while the MBTI provides a valuable lens through which we can understand ourselves and others, it does not guarantee perfect compatibility or friendship between individuals of the same type. The reason for such discord can vary widely and are dependent on factors beyond MBTI alone, including upbringing, personal experiences, values, and beliefs. It's critical to recognize that MBTI is just one aspect of our individuality. So, we're going to delve into this controversial notion that individuals of the same MBTI type can experience genuine dislike for one another. And of course, I'm going to examine some potential reasons for these conflicts, considering how varying our experiences in life can be. So, here we go. I just ask that you be a little open-minded and empathetic and respectful, even if you get a little mad. So let the controversy begin. Number one, INTJs. INTJs might feel frustrated in a friendship with another INTJ because both individuals may have strong opinions and a desire for independence, which could lead to clashes and lack of compromise. Imagine you've grown up in two different worlds, so you're arguing just as strongly for what you believe, but you're arguing against somebody of your own type. So you're going to use some of the same strategies. So could be interesting to watch. Number two, ENTJs. ENTJs might find it challenging to be in a friendship with another ENTJ because both individuals may have a dominant and assertive nature, resulting in power struggles and conflicts. So ENTJs are used to people, quote unquote, cowering. Not that they don't want you to stand up for what you believe and speak your truth, but they have no idea what it would be like for people to constantly to be as assertive as they are. We, generally speaking, need them, especially in businesses and organizations, to run things, and they run them well. So they're not going to bump into too many people who are going to be like, I disagree with that, because their ideas are usually solid. But a lot of times, or there are times when, because they're so dominant, people cower. They don't box them. But if they meet another ENTJ, that other ENTJ ain't going to let them get away with certain things. And that could be a problem. Number three, this one, INFPs. Let me explain my points. INFPs might experience frustration in a friendship with another INFP only because like a certain area. So both individuals may be highly idealistic and sensitive, which could lead to emotional intensity and difficulty in resolving conflicts because they're both so deep into their feelings and they've hurt each other's feelings. And now, how do we get out of this? How do we get out of this bubble gum? Number 4, ENFPs. ENFPs might find it challenging to maintain a friendship with another ENFP because both individuals may have a tendency to be spontaneous and changeable, which could lead to a lack of stability and commitment in the relationship. And imagine living together, especially if you are super high on the P. I mean, and super high on the N, that N and P together. I mean, oh my goodness. Okay, here's the next one, which is the most controversial MBTI, at least on my channel. If you look at the videos on ESTJs, you're going to see all kind of comments. So, but I have to talk about them. So, ESTJs are known for their practicality, efficiency, and strong sense of responsibility. In terms of friendships, ESTJs might experience frustration when befriending someone who shares the same MBTI type as them due to the following reasons. Number 1, dominance and control. ESTJs tend to have a strong need for control and can be assertive in expressing their opinion and ideas. When two ESTJs come together, there may be a power struggle as both individuals want to take charge, leading to conflicts and a lack of compromise. Imagine two ESTJs married to each other in a standoff. That standoff could last for days, weeks, months, years. And I'm sure there's going to be somebody in the comments that goes, I'm an ESTJ and I'm married to an ESTJ and it's amazing. Well, I'm sure it is. Number 2, rigidity and inflexibility. ESTJs often prefer structure and order in their lives. They value rules, traditions, and established systems. If both ESTJs have rigid perspectives and are willing to adapt or consider alternative points of view, it can lead to a stalemate in decision making and hinder the growth of the friendship. 3, competitiveness. ESTJs are typically ambitious and driven individuals who thrive in competitive environments. When two ESTJs are friends, their competitive nature might come into play and they might find themselves constantly comparing achievements and striving to outdo each other, which can strain the friendship. 4, lack of emotional connection. ESTJs tend to prioritize logic and practicality over emotions. If both individuals in the friendship struggle to express and understand emotions, it can create a lack of emotional connection and depth, leading to frustration and a sense of discontent. So, these are just generalities. And of course, we know that within ESTJ types, they can be greatly influenced on how they navigate friendships with others who share the same MBTI type. So some of them will get along marvelously and they understand people and they've deepened their emotional intelligence so they understand how. So in conclusion, let's take a moment to appreciate the sheer absurdity of the fact that even individuals of the same MBTI type can't always see eye to eye. It's like a joke, as if the world is saying, hey, even when you think you found your people, there's always a chance you'll annoy the heck out of each other. So let's embrace the hilarity of it all. And remember that while MBTI can provide valuable insights, it's not a foolproof recipe for eternal friendship. After all, life would be pretty boring if we all got along perfectly, wouldn't it? So let's toast to the quirks and clashes and remember to laugh when our MBTI soulmates become our soul mateys. Cheers to the delightful messiness of human connections. I know it's been a controversial day, but I love all of these types. And if you don't believe me, look at the playlist. I've got a million really kind videos about each one of them. And if you don't believe how much I love you, then look at this.